So, with all of the different grading services that are out there, how are you supposed to figure out which one is the right service? Well, it all depends on what you want out of your graded coins. I mean, after all, you've got to wade through all of this just to try and figure it out. Well, I'm going to help you figure out exactly which service is the right service for you based on what you want out of your graded coins. With all of the coin grading services out there, how do you know which service you actually want to use? I mean, really, there's a lot more than the big four. As you can see by the pictures on the screen here, there are literally tens, if not hundreds, of different grading services. But not all coin grading services are created equal, and each coin grading service kind of has a little niche or a speciality, if you want to call it such, for what it is that they do and what they're known for. We're going to cover each one of the big four grading services and what their particular niches are. As for the other 200 grading services that are out there, those are what are known as second tier or basement grading service companies. Now, I'm not saying that they don't necessarily do a halfway decent job at grading coins most of the time, but they don't command a premium like the big four grading services do. And the reason for that is they're just not well known. Kudos to the people who wanted to start the grading services. Everybody should do what they feel they want to do. But unfortunately, they just haven't gained the traction in order to get the level of money or value for their particular coins in their particular slabs. All right. So let's go on to the big four. So we're going to start out with the oldest of all of these services, and it wasn't actually a grading service when it began. What it was an authentication service. It started out in 1972 as ANA, or the American Numismatic Association Authentication Bureau. And that was where it started. Now, it was started because there were a lot of coin dealers at coin shows that were complaining, and even just their shops were complaining about getting coins in that were fake. And as a result, the ANA decided they needed a service to be able to authenticate coins to make sure that they weren't fake. So, ANA, or the American Numismatic Association, started the Annex service. Fast forward to 1979, and the coin company itself actually started grading coins in 1979. You didn't get coins in slabs at that point. You got them back with a card saying it was authentic, and you got it back in a little 2x2 flip. So, in today's world, what does Annex or ANACS actually bring to the table? Why would you want to send coins to them? Well, there's actually three reasons why you want to send coins to them. Number one, it refers back to what I was just speaking of. They're an authentication service. So, the ability for them to be able to authenticate a coin is in their blood, so to speak. They've been doing it longer than anybody else. The second reason, well, quite simply put, they're good with variety coins. Anybody who wants a variety coin that may not necessarily be a variety coin that's listed in the cherry picker's guide can send their variety coin into Annex, and they will slab it for you and put that variety on the slab. The third reason, they're incredibly reasonable, and they don't require a membership. Yes, you have to at least sign up to have your coins graded online, but you don't have to pay any membership fees in order to do it. So you can have your coin authenticated, you can get it slabbed, you can actually get a variety listed on that particular thing, and you can do it very inexpensively for as little as $10 to $15, with a few extra fees for some of those varieties that you may need listed. You can actually wind up getting a coin slabbed and graded, and accurately graded at that. I will tell you from personal experience of mine, I have actually seen Annex coins grade consistently accurate time after time after time. So there's my plug for Annex. Now let's cover the big two coin companies, PCGS and NGC. Both of these companies were started in the mid 1980s. PCGS was started in 1986 and NGC was started in 1987. Interesting to note here, one of the gentlemen that helped start both of those companies, a gentleman by the name of John Albanese, is a very important player in the future going forward as we cover a couple of other subjects. So I just wanted to point that particular thing out because it is definitely worth mentioning at this point in the video. So, what are PCGS's strengths? What are NGC's strengths? Well, quite honestly put, I've graded at both companies, and while PCGS coins definitely command a higher price, it's probably because they have technically been around the longest when it comes to slabbing companies. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say one particular company is better than the other at grading coins. At one point in time, PCGS definitely had a handle with the graders that they used on their grading floor, and they were definitely a better quality grader. No questions asked. NGC came along and also does a phenomenal job at grading coins, and in my opinion, has been more consistent over the course of time than PCGS has. Part of that problem is PCGS has changed ownerships, and as a result, some of their corporate values have changed right along with them. And that has hurt some of the coin grading system that they have. NGC seems to be a little bit more consistent over the course of time. Now, both of these companies, unlike ANACS, will not put a minor variety coin in a holder and put a label on it with that minor variety. So that's where going back to ANACS is probably your best bet if that's what you're doing. One of the other things and one of the other biggest downfalls to PCGS and NGC is you have to have a membership, number one, and number two, that particular membership will cost you money. The other interesting part about that is their coin grading services are significantly more expensive than ANACS. I'm not saying that they're not worth it at times. I'm simply saying it's a lot more expensive to submit coins to PCGS and NGC. So if any of those particular things fall into the category that you want to grade coins, a registry set for one, basically getting top dollar for your coins if you're going to sell them or resell them after you grade them would probably be another choice to choose both PCGS or NGC. And while I can say NGC does get a little lower money for their coins than PCGS, I don't think that the coin inside the holder is actually any less valuable, even though it's wrapped with a different holder. So I have covered 3 out of the 4 grading services that I wanted to cover in this video. And before I get to the fourth one, we need to bridge one other subject, and that subject is CAC. CAC is a service that basically takes coins from both of the major grading services, NGC and PCGS, and they put a sticker on it that says, yes, that coin that's in that holder that is graded with that grade is, without a doubt, the grade that it says that it is. Why would that be? Well, actually, it's a pretty smart move if you stop and think about it, because you can have two coins in the same holders, two PCGS coins with MS67 grades on them, but maybe those two coins don't have the exact same eye appeal to them. One may be a little more brilliant, one may be a little better toned, one may just simply look better than the other. So, what CAC does is they take those coins and they basically say, this coin is definitely an MS67 graded coin. And what I find so incredibly interesting about that is really the coin grading services should be doing their job to begin with. They shouldn't need a secondary checker to be able to verify that their grades are accurate. However, the person who started CAC, Mr. John Albanese, who, if you remember, also started or helped start PCGS and NGC, saw a need for this because PCGS and NGC sometimes just fall off their game when it comes to grading coins. This falling off the wagon, so to speak, of the other coin grading services is exactly the reason Mr. Albanese started CAC grading. It's also why he started CAC in the first place, and it was to hold them accountable. What I find the most interesting about this whole thing is the fact that people, collectors, actually seek out coins that are graded in PCGS and NGC holders with a CAC sticker on them because they know that they're accurately graded if it has a CAC sticker on it. Well, here's the problem I have with that. Problem I have with that is why not just go to CAC grading now? Because obviously, Mr. John Albanese really knows what the heck he's talking about. If all of you collectors out there are seeking CAC stickered coins, well, this grading service answers all of your questions. You not only will get an accurately graded coin, but you're going to get that CAC security that goes along with it. And that is the whole enchilada, so to speak, when it comes to coin grading. I absolutely love the whole concept that Mr. Albanese has pulled out of the hat with this one. And I really think that in the coming years, you're going to see CAC graded coins command significant premiums over any of the other grading services because of his experience and his expertise that he brings to this particular industry. And when it comes to sending coins into CAC, unfortunately, right now, there's a relatively long waiting list to become a member of CAC. So that tells you the demand is definitely there. And I think that demand is only going to continue to grow. Hopefully, as I said, you guys have enjoyed this particular video. If you have, it's definitely worn me out. I apologize. I am a little bit tired towards the end of this. I have thought really hard about what I wanted to say about all of these grading companies because for the most part, they all do an amazing job. But if you did like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. It definitely helps when the YouTube analytics come out. Also, subscribe to my channel. I will appreciate that. And so will you if you keep those notification bells on so that you get updates when more videos are available. Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate the patience as I stumble over the end of this video. Good night, everybody.